Maximizing value or optimizing capital terms, 5 steps to a winning narrative. Every deal that we work on, every engagement that we work on, we build a narrative for the company that we're representing. What does that mean? That is the story, the illustration, the characterization of the business that we are bringing out to the market. So if we're looking to sell a company, we want to explain to the market why this is a special situation that they should be interested in at buying at a maximum value on the best terms, and why this is the missing puzzle piece for someone. If we're looking for capital, we want to communicate clearly why the risk of this particular situation is lower, why the return is higher, and why it's a good place to allocate capital for someone whose job is to allocate capital. And so what we found is over hundreds of these iterations is that the narrative really boils down to the same 5 pieces of information or categories of information, and it's the ensuring that each of these elements is fully defined that optimizes the terms that you're ultimately able to receive, again, whether selling a business or seeking capital. So the first is the opportunity overview. What is the objective? What are we looking to do? Right? No need to bury the lead. We are representing company ABC who is seeking to sell their business, secure capital for this reason, and here's why we collectively deem this is the optimal time to do this. Next is the company overview. That's the who, what, where, and why, right? What does the company do? What is its product, service, or offering? What access does it have, or end markets does it focus on? What is its proprietary or special capabilities or aptitude that make it good at what it does? Next, financial performance. Again, the fundamentals: revenue, COGS, operating expenses, profit. Last 5 years, forward 3 years. Again, depending on the situation, there's different things to highlight, there's different things to focus on, but generally speaking, those are the main things. Those are what people want to know about, and they want to see them both historically and any insight as to ownership's perspective view towards the future. Fourth element is the opportunity thesis. Why is this a good acquisition? What value does this create for the company acquiring the business or providing capital to the business? What are the catalysts? What are the upside? What's the thesis? And people oftentimes say to us, like, Arthur, isn't that what they're supposed to figure out? Why aren't they doing that homework, right? They will. They have their angles. They have their perspective, but why not make that a collaborative effort, right? If we're trying to sell a business to a company, we don't want to just dump it in front of them and say, oh, you figure out if this is good. We want to put it in front of them saying, here are the reasons why we think this is good. Here are the reasons why this company is the missing puzzle piece to what you are aggregating. We'll include a quick screenshot of the video that we did relative to the missing puzzle piece, but that's the idea, because that ultimately is what pivots the conversation again from this would be nice to have to this is a must-have. This would be a convenient thing perhaps to this is what solves all of our pain and this is what gets our business to the next level. And again, if you can pivot that dialogue that way, that's what changes the value conversation from here's a price loosely based on a multiple to here's kind of the buy versus build analysis. But again, check out that video if you want to see more detail on it. But relative to this conversation, the opportunity thesis is where you're able to kind of lay out the blueprint as to what the future value creating activities or objectives can be for this business and what those catalysts are, and making that blueprint readily perceptible to the prospective acquirer capital provider, making their job a little easier in addition to the analysis that they're going to be doing on their own anyhow. Lastly is the opportunity process, tying everything together. We've gone over what's the objective of the engagement, what does the company do, what is its fundamental financial performance, what are the catalysts towards future growth. Tying all those together, say what is the timeline of the process. We're looking to secure letters of intent by this date. Here are the steps that we see in the process. Here's how you can be a part of the exercise, and you're putting everybody on a track towards ultimately good conclusion. And it's this guidance that's very helpful, because no one wants to be in a process or spend the brain damage and brain work, right, to say, you know what, maybe we'll do something in a year if someone just lobs in an offer that's exciting enough. That's not what people want, and that doesn't work for anybody. We say, look, we are trying to accomplish this objective in this time frame. These are the steps in the time frame. These are the things we need you to do, and everybody's therefore on notice, and it ultimately generates the best result. So lastly, a key tip, and it seems painfully obvious, what we say is write this down. By virtue of us iterating this process in writing these narratives and consolidating and synthesizing, right? Something that could be 50 pages, if we can boil it down to 5 pages, you know that you know this in and out, you know every granular detail to it. And if you cannot lose any of that granularity in the synthesizing of the narrative, well, then you've got a really impactful and powerful thing to talk to people about, and you learn it. An old mentor of mine said, you don't understand anything that you can't write down simply. It's very true. And so as all of these parts of the narrative come together, even as you're thinking, hey, maybe we should go seek capital, maybe we should sell this company, as you're mentally going through that narrative, get a few pieces of paper, write down each component of this, and you'll see over iterations and iterations of writing and saying, how we could say that better, we're missing this point, we really want to highlight this thing. You'll have a very crisp, crystallized narrative. That's the thought for today. Hope the week continues to go well for everyone. Keep pushing forward. God bless. We'll see everyone next time.